Earlier today, a family, a community, and a province's worst nightmare became a reality. Shortly after 1 o'clock this afternoon, the body of Chase Martens was found in a creek, in a body of water. Chase was found by a group of Winnipeg search and rescue volunteers, found in what we call a high probability area. This area had been searched before, but was constantly being revisited as conditions of the creek, as well as some of the water levels, change from day to day. Again, shortly after 1 o'clock this afternoon, the body of Chase was found. There were no obvious signs of foul play. This appears to be exactly what we all thought it was, a tragedy. Our investigation now will focus on working with the Office of the Chief Medical Examiner for an autopsy. I'd like to thank a lot of people. We've done so throughout the week. Obviously, the Office of the Fire Commissioner, their expertise, their resources were key in the search efforts that went for the last 5 days. We'd like to thank citizens across Canada whose message on social media never stopped, were always positive and hopeful, and certainly a great motivator for searchers and officers involved in this case. I would estimate that about 30,000 volunteer hours were donated this week. The majority of them by people that are total strangers to the Martens family. The true, genuine care and concern of Manitobans is something that should be recognized and commended. I know a family, a community. Thank you for the size of your collective heart. Aujourd'hui, un peu après 1 heure cet après-midi, le corps de Chase Martens a été retrouvé dans un ruisseau environ à 1 demi-kilomètre de sa résidence. Le corps de Chase a été trouvé dans un endroit qui avait déjà été cherché, mais un endroit qu'on peut décrire avec une probabilité plus accrue ou plus de chances de le retrouver. C'est un endroit qui avait déjà été cherché, mais les niveaux d'eau changent ainsi que les conditions, raison pour laquelle on revisite toujours des endroits comme ça. Again, thank you. Any questions?
Can you tell us if the area was it right by the
The creek is approximately half a kilometer from the residence where he was.
In which direction?
I believe it's to the south of the residence.
Open patch of water. One of the volunteers said there was one open patch where the ice had been.
I don't have the specifics exactly, and of course the conditions we saw today that the volunteers found and our investigators found at the site where his body was recovered have changed since Tuesday night where he went missing. So can't get into really specifics of how exactly this occurred.
So does it seem like he just walked off from the front yard and had made his way that far? And
It appears this is what we're looking at. Again, there's more steps that need to be taken by our investigators. This is not the end of our investigation. Again, I'll repeat that there's no obvious signs of foul play, but we owe it to the family, the community, and the province to exercise due diligence and investigate the next steps. The next hours and the next several days, we'll have a dedicated team of investigators focused on providing answers to a lot of questions that we still have. But again, at this point, we are not looking at foul play, and this appears to be just a tragedy we were all hoping to avoid.
And it's volunteer search and rescue group from Winnipeg?
It is a group of Winnipeg search and rescue volunteers that found him. Obviously, They will be offered all the support necessary as they go through the next day and hours. And again, we cannot thank enough people from Manitoba. A lot of people offered to come here. A lot of people wanted to come here, but couldn't just because of logistics. We thank you for the good thoughts, and again for the messages throughout the week, and 30,000 hours of volunteer search from complete strangers to the Martens family. A testament to people from this community.
Pourriez-vous nous parler de l'apport de ces bénévoles à Martens?
Oui, on parle d'environ 30 000 heures de bénévolat que les chercheurs ont donné depuis mardi soir. Le support reçu avec le média social, les messages que nos enquêteurs ont reçus, mais aussi les messages dédiés à la famille étaient définitivement une motivation pour tous impliqués dans cette recherche de continuer leurs efforts.
Have you spoken with the family?
Our investigators have spoken with the family. Mixed feelings, obviously. An answer, yes, but probably the answer they did not want to get. It is difficult going through an investigation like this, and there's not a set time where you go from a rescue to a recovery, and we always hope, but we knew the challenges after the first few nights, and we knew obviously the possible outcome of this operation. Again, an answer provided to the family thanks to the effort of thousands of people, but definitely not an answer anybody wanted to see.
You said this location was a high priority location?
High probability area.
Can you elaborate on what that means? And
There's areas that are, and I'm not an expert at search and rescue, but there's areas that are more probable, bodies of water, culverts, creeks, depressions in the ground, areas like this that are identified by these experts as high probability area. And again, this is an area that had been looked at, but was revisited throughout the week because the conditions change as well as the water levels.
So it was revisited several times. Is that fair to say?
It was revisited several times. I don't have an exact amount of time, but again, the dynamics of water levels, but also current change conditions daily and sometimes by the hour.
Can you speak a little bit to the RCMP resources that were expended here? I know there was drones and you had the underwater rescue team. How many officers?
Certainly utilized all the technology available, some of it through our partners and other agencies. Some of it we had. There was never a lack of resources or equipment dedicated to this file from the onset. That started Tuesday night with dozens of volunteers already searching. And again, working with the Office of the Fire Commissioner, their expertise, their resources was key in coordinating search efforts that I had just a great magnitude. And again, thank you for their partnership, their resources, to provide some answer to a grieving family.
When are you expecting? You said now it's next step is the medical examiner. Is that going to be happening? I guess Monday, Tuesday. Do you know
It is my understanding, wanting to provide answers as quick as possible, that the autopsy will take place tomorrow. Not sure exactly when the results will be available to us. We expect it will be fairly quickly, but I do not have a set timeline on that. Again, we at the end of this investigation, we want to be acknowledged for how thorough, complete, and accurate it was, not necessarily how quick we were able to come to the conclusions that it will bring.
Was there any reaction about it, him being found so close to home, but yet the search radius was going so far out? Is there any? What was sort of the reaction, I guess, from investigators on that?
Hard to say. I wasn't here to see it, but again, the area where Chase was found was something that was identified at one of many places to revisit regularly throughout the week, and again, that was done today. We cannot stop expanding the radius of the search based on some of these high probabilities area that need to be revisited. So obviously why these specific locations were attended again by search and rescue volunteers, the overall search area continued to expand. and this was not scheduled to stop for the next several days.
Will the search go under review as well? Is there a process for that?
I'm not sure if it will or not, but obviously something that our investigators will look at over the next few days.
The group that found him, were they actually trained in search and rescue, or were they volunteers out helping?
They were described as a group of Winnipeg search and rescue volunteers. It is my understanding that these groups are usually supervised or always in close proximity of trained searchers. So if not, was not readily next to them when they found them, probably very close by.
Can you speak to the morale of the many searchers that are leaving the area now?
It dawned on me driving here, I was the only vehicle coming to this location while I encountered hundreds of vehicles leaving, all volunteers, all people with big hearts. Obviously a sad conclusion to this tragedy, but being able to provide an answer, some closure, and helping in what the next steps are going to be for a grieving family and a hurting community is something that is a motivator for everybody involved in these types of operations. C'est toujours une motivation. Quand on pense aux heures de bénévolat qui ont été données par des volontaires, c'est une motivation pour nos enquêteurs pour continuer à chaque jour. Et encore une fois, on peut remercier tous les gens qui ont été impliqués, ceux qui ont pu se rendre sur les lieux et aider physiquement à la recherche, mais aussi tous ceux qui voulaient venir et n'ont pu le faire. Merci. Thank you.